what's going on, people? I go by the name of Ray up to infinity. How should I say? I'm a master creative, which means I delve into everything creative, from music, video, content, film, TV, all of that, acting. It's all within my repertoire. Right now, I'm acting as a spokesperson for creators to inspire them and motivate them to create more content, because I believe that there is a lot of unique, creative, and amazing content that can be pushed out. But from doing social media myself, I know that there's a lot of barriers and a lot of things that stop people from creating. I just want to help alleviate that, having gone through it myself now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing currently.
No, I love that. Everyone at home can probably tell by now that creativity is going to be one of the bigger conversation points of today. But just going back to who you are, just to explore that a little bit more, how do you get your feeling of importance?
How do I get my feeling of importance? That's an interesting question. How do I get my feeling of importance? You know what? I feel like, honestly, I feel like it's embedded within me. I feel like, because I've been someone who's always been aware of the endowment of being a human being and what that comes with. So I've always been kind of in tune with, I guess, the greatness within me. Though I may face challenges that and place limitations upon myself, I've always known that everything that I've needed and whoever had is already within me. You get me? So the best thing I can do is, I guess, live by my passion. I think that's it. I get my importance by doing things that I'm passionate about. And creativity, creation is a huge part of that. There's never a moment in my life where I'm not thinking of an idea or there isn't something bubbling up inside me. So I think actually being able to be creative every single day makes me feel important. Makes me feel purposeful.
Cool. And just to add to that a little bit as well, what's the one thing that people should know about you?
One thing that people should know about me. One thing about me. There's a lot to know about me. But I mean, really and truly, okay, here's an interesting thing that people should know about me. The version of me that you get is based on the version of you that you present. Feel me? Because there's so many different frequencies and sort of ideas that I really vibe with. Depends on where you catch me. You can catch me in a serious mood, you see a different person. If you catch me in a funny mood, you see a different person. You can catch me in a philosophical, introspective mood, you all see different version of me.
So would you say you're quite flexible in terms of like you can kind of blend in into sort of like any environment then from that perspective?
Yeah, I've always been able to sort of blend in and sort of just get in and around with people, because I think I just can. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely. I know that. I know that for sure. But I just wondering if you're sorry that that same way too. You use the word frequencies. Yeah. Can we get into that a little bit? And then what do you mean by frequencies? Maybe not even a little bit, maybe a lot. But
you want to get into it a lot. Okay, we can get into the frequency, but because no, go on. I'll let you.
No, the thing I was gonna say. So when I'm while we have this conversation, so when I listen to you, you might use certain words, and one of the things that I wanted to do as well through this conversation, on this episode, just to kind of explore, if you use certain words, just to kind of dive in a little bit deeper, and see what you mean by that. So it doesn't have to be super extensive. But you can just.
When I say frequencies, I mean like, excuse me. Life is energy. And within the energy of creation, there is spectrums, right? And within those spectrums, so let's use good and bad as two ways to scale that spectrum, right? So good at the top, bad at the bottom, and then everything in between, right? Everything else that exists in between. And then it's that variation. That's what I mean by frequency. So on any given subject, or on anything actually, as a being, your natural energy will be of a certain frequency, which is like if you imagine like a radio, or a TV channel, right? Different channels are on different frequencies. And yeah, where you are is your frequency, essentially. You can be high, low, and everything in between.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting? Like, one of the things I kind of found with people, which is quite funny. So people use the word vibe, like everyone's like, oh, you know, that's a vibe and stuff like that. But if you say vibration, suddenly it's a bit weird. Like people go, like, it's not vibration, but it's actually vibe is the vibration, or is this a shortcut for it?
Yeah.
But it's like the people's connection to both of the words is slightly different.
Yeah.
From my experience when people talk about it. So no one goes, oh, I like the vibration here. Everyone says I like the vibe here. It's like I'm looking for, no one says I'm looking for the vibration.
Yeah, but that's definitely what they're saying in. But I mean, in English, we use a lot of words that we don't actually pay attention to the particulars of said words. You understand? So vibe is short for vibration, and it's exactly that. It's something that you can't really see or speak, but you feel. Do you know what I mean? And what do you feel? Sound wave, energy. Feel? Do you get me? So that's vibes. But yeah, sometimes people use the word and not really deep what they are saying. The English language is littered with words like that. That when you actually deep
literacy,
it,
littered. I like that.
There you go,
bruh, you know,
bruh.
I didn't
Literally like that. Literally like that, bro.
Literally, yeah, literally.
Crazy.
Littered with it, yeah.
But what's your outlook on frequency? Because I know some people will feel like it gets a bit wishy-washy.
Yeah. I think there is like, I think currently in a society when these conversations happen, and from my experience as well, when I used to listen, or like when I wasn't like, when I haven't arrived to understanding what that even means or what that might even mean, but I used to hear people talk about like these lot like lost it, or you know, that kind of thing. But I think it's a journey, and I think when people start understanding that there's more to life than how we use, because obviously language is a tool, right? So we can't explain certain feelings. We can try to describe it and put them in a box, but we can't. There's certain energies. You know, you walk into the room, you can straight away tell what the vibration is and whatever. But that's like, so I think for me, it's a thing. It's something that I'm on a journey of understanding a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm also recognizing that it's already there. Like the frequencies and the vibrations, everything's already there.
Yeah.
It's just. It might not be realistic to describe it or to articulate what it means. It's just a thing that needs to be felt rather than explained.
Yeah, and exactly that, because words are extremely, extremely limiting. Because in this moment right now, as we speak and as we exchange, like what I just did there, you couldn't put into words, but you know what the fuck was going on. And you followed along with that. You understand? There's a certain energetic exchange in eye contact. Small, minute things, little, do you get me? Little, so much that if you were to put it in words, you could write a flipping essay on it. But in your understanding, that very instant I did it, you clicked. And the whole thing came across to you. You didn't get a little bit of it. You didn't get everything came to you. Do you get me? So much so that you couldn't describe all of it, but inside you felt it, so you know it. You understand? So language, and I don't think language is too binary, and it will never be able to express all the computations that are going on instantaneously within our physical and human mechanism.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously the physical and then the spiritual as well. So there's a lot of exchange. Like when you look at me right now, it's not just a physical exchange. There's a spiritual exchange. You feel me? You know, sometimes you can look at someone in their eye and you can feel what they're going through. You know what they're going through. Do you get me? Even though they haven't said a single word. That's an exchange of souls, energy.
Yeah.
Feel me?
No, I like that, man. I like that. And I think that's kind of like, for the last few years, that's the place I've been arriving to, just recognizing that I can't explain everything.
Yeah.
And just more like just going with it, just being in tune with it, and just recognizing it as it's there.
On that note, I think as human beings, we waste a lot of time trying to explain things. So much time trying to explain things. And then the maddest thing is that we try to explain things that can't be explained in one sitting. You understand?
Yeah.
And I think people always, I think the masses, innit, they always want like they want to follow an answer that's concrete. Like, this is it. This is the thing, yeah? Nothing else. This is it. This is the only thing. Follow this, right? And if you said this, you're going to do this. This is how it is. So you need to follow that and make sure it's that. But there's not a single thing in existence that can be explained in a single point. Because it's never just this. It's also this and that and that and that and that and that. There's so much surrounding everything. If I talk to you about, why are you happy right now? There's so much within that. You feel me? More so than just what's happening in this moment right now. There's a whole bunch of history, text, energies, everything that's going through you right now that is captured within that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well later on. Happiness as well.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say on frequencies, so as I was reflecting, I was listening to you as well, the other thing that stood out for me is that life in itself is essentially a frequency. So I think the best way for me to try and articulate that is my feelings are not static. It's always constantly changing. So I'm feeling, might be, I'll just say happy, because just mentioned it, might be happy, then maybe sad, maybe angry. Whatever the thing is, it's almost like the frequency is constantly changing.
So this is interesting. So obviously we're speaking on frequencies, vibration, and all of these, right? And you say you're constantly going up and going down and going up and going down. What else? What else does that? Sound wave, right? It goes up and it goes down. And for me, that motion is, I guess, the basis, the foundation of life and existence.
Yin and
right?
yang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yin and yang, right? Once again, the polar opposites, right? Good, bad, everything in between, right? Now, because there is these polar opposites, it means that time can continue to tick. So something interesting, the name Ray Infinity came because I had a complex with time at one point, right? When I was younger, I felt that it was possible for me to break time and optimize my potential faster than you get me. It was a little bit of a complex, and then I started I reasoned the idea of time to be in the core of existence, because time is change, and every second that goes by there is change, and because there is change, it means that you're always going to be shifting and changing, and then thus experiencing life, because you go up and then the change will bring you down, and then the change will bring you up, and sort of this continual change is what life is. So relating that back to the yin and yang, the up and then down, the frequency, that is the experience of, feel me, time itself changing, ticking, every tick of the clock means something in your body changed, something in your environment changed, means the calculation of life, if you think of it like a matrix, right, with loads of different numbers and digits, every second there's a change. If one here, and then that does then changes if you freeze it as a frame, right, calculate all the numbers that are showing right now, that will give you a certain digit. Every second that ticks, everything changes. And that gives you another end equation. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's really cool with?
I hope I'm making sense.
No, you're making sense. You're making sense, and this is another thing that's come out from listening to you is that, so quantum computers. So like computers usually operate in like a binary setting, right? So it's like a 1 or 0, right?
Yeah.
Where quantum computers can be in between the 1 and the 0, so they have more possibilities. And so they're saying that quantum fields, it's like a whole new thing that's opening up now in the world. And I don't know what the possibility of exploring the quantum fields are going to be.
But you already do that. You already do it to a degree though, because what they're finding now is like one of the main, the easiest ways for me to conceptualize it is your dreams, right? You're not here when you're dreaming, bro. But
Yeah.
you can wake up and tell me 100% tonight I had a dream. I was somewhere else, but where the was you?
Yeah. So there's loads of different like theories. At this moment, I'm going to call them theories, because no one really knows. But they're saying like, you know, it could be like like multiple different realities you experience in life in another place and whatever. But there is one thing that's really interesting. Till this day, sleep is a mystery.
No, it's not. Why is it a mystery?
It's a mystery.
What's
No one
mysterious
really
about
knows
sleep?
what sleep is. So so they say that the reason we need to sleep is because obviously our brain reboots and gets to rest and whatever. Did you know that brain is more active while we're sleeping than it is while we're not? So if the argument is we're trying to get the rest,
Yeah.
and the brain needs the rest, why is it more active during the sleep? So how does it actually reset?
I'm going to give you my
Yeah,
idea
of course.
and my take on
Yeah.
sleep, right? So first of all, we have to understand that we are not primarily physical, right? This physical realm that we're in, we're touching all of this, we're not primarily that. We're actually primarily a soul, right? And some people feel like the soul is inside the body, but it's vice versa. The body is inside the soul.
We had that conversation. I remember last time. That was beautiful. I wish we had that.
Same. But in short, essentially the idea is that the soul, you have the soul, right? This is your soul, and what your soul chooses to do is condense itself down into a central point, right? And this central point becomes physical reality. So your body, your everything, your reality is actually within the soul. And the idea is that when you pass, when you die, all that happens is the energy bubbles back up to the top and it goes back to your soul. And it's akin to, you know, like if you had a bad dream and like say something crazy happens and you wake up and you're like, oh, bro. But then you realize you was dreaming. That's what happens when you die, because you are the soul within the body now, right? And what was the point it was leading towards? It was what's the point it was leading towards?
I don't know. It's your point, bro.
I know. It was.
I love this.
I'm thinking of like 6 directions at the same time. The soul, okay. The soul. Wait, it was. You mean the soul inside the body?
No, we're talking about sleep. Why? I'm
Oh yeah,
saying
why
sleep.
you need sleep? Okay,
Yeah.
boom. Okay, so
But
that's the initial premise now, right? So because you're mainly in spirit, you're in spirit right now, right? But the idea is that you're in spirit dreaming your physical reality. So when you go to sleep, it's not that you're actually going to sleep, but you're actually waking up in
I see what you're saying.
soul.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is because when you do go back to sleep, when you do go back into the soul, the higher being, you don't experience time. Time is malleable. You can be here and there at the same time, which means you're outside time and space.
That's lit. I love that, because one of the other things as well, because like when you think about sleep, right? Like let's say if someone goes to sleep like, I don't know, 10 p.m., wakes up at 6 a.m., whatever, yeah. Essentially, they teleported, right? So there is like, there was no time while they were asleep. There's like nothing, it was full of nothingness, right? Unless they had a dream, or some people don't dream, I don't know. But if the sleep wasn't rough, they didn't wake up in the middle of the night or something, then it's like they've teleported from one time to the other, but they didn't experience that period of time. And it's like it's a gap of nothingness, right?
But the thing is, they created that gap of time.
No, so I'm with you. Like I agree with what you're saying, but I'm kind of saying that it confirms the other part of sleep, which is like people don't know how they got there.
Yeah.
During that time. So,
but I guess the point I'm making is that it's okay. So the point was, why do we sleep? We sleep because we are mainly in the spiritual, right? We sleep to basically go back there and charge up, because they always say that physical reality is an illusion, right? So if you don't go back and charge up, you won't be able to maintain this illusion that is physical reality. You know, I said that it's soul's out here and it's pushing. If you don't go back up, you can't charge back in, and that's why we sleep. Because sleeping recovers your body, rejuvenates everything, resets you, because you're literally charging up your physical reality via the sleep, by going back to your main bits, charge it up, and then you wake up and you play the game again. It's like literally, it's like having your console on low battery, charging it up. Do you get me? Putting it on standby mode or whatever, and then waking it back up and continue playing your game.
Yeah, life is really like a simulation, you know, to some extent. Yeah. Do you ever like slow down? Do you ever like question or think about them like the experience of life in itself? What's your latest like thoughts on it, or what's your latest connection to it? Because like, so this is the thing, yeah. I'm gonna say some words about it on what it is for me. I can't fucking describe it. It's impossible, yeah. But I look at things around me, yes. I look at like my hands and like, this is fucking, it's incredible. It's such a, like, it's a weird miracle. It's like this, like how is this even possible? How is it possible that I'm experiencing life?
Yeah.
Like, how is this even, like everything's just so perfect. Like you look at everything around us, it's structured perfectly.
And it works so divinely. You understand? Like, there's no way I could have ever thought of how all of this shit works together, but somehow it works together, like literally flawlessly, right? I've always thought it's been quite crazy. If you actually deep, like, this is magic. It's gonna sound basic, but it's actually crazy. That a sperm, tiny, microscopic, bro. I couldn't even show you the size on this. Yeah, microscopic. Will link up with another microscopic something, an egg, join up, fester, and grow an entire human being, bruv, with infinite potential and ability to affect physical reality. From these two, bro, it blows my mind. It's actually quite magical.
But that's just one thing, right? Then you just have to start thinking about. You don't have to start doing that, by the way. That's a funny use of language. You have to start thinking about now.
Yeah.
But when you start thinking about other things in life, right? Like trees, and like you think about you just think about the way everything is done. It's like, it's like we've got this like Big Bang Theory and everything else. To me, it's just like everything just seems too perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a setup. It's like it's made this way.
I love that you say it's a setup, because it is a setup. And do you know who set it up? You, motherfucker. Big man thing.
Yeah.
You set it up. I set it up. Aladdin set it up. Like, we all set up this game called life for the experience, right? So I think last time we were trying to get into the idea of the one and the all that is. You understand? Which is still a bit of a techie concept for me to explain.
Yeah.
But the idea of us all being one, right? All being extensions of the same thing, literally here now to experience the infinite varieties of life. Because we go back to the whole spectrum thing, right? Plus 100 is the top, minus 100 is the bottom, right? So that means that in this life, there will be a physical manifestation of the top good, physical manifestation of the top bottom, and absolutely everything else in between. It must exist. It has to exist. You get me? To function within existence itself, which is why everything that you can think of actually exists. Because otherwise, if it didn't exist, you couldn't think of it. Because it wouldn't exist. If you can think of something as far-fetched, as crazy as it is, it actually exists by way of you being able to think about it. Because non-existence is full of things that don't exist. Therefore, you as something that exists can't perceive something that doesn't exist. So then if you can perceive something, it must exist somewhere along the way. You feel me? Yeah. You know that?
I love this.
It's crazy ideas, man.
What do you think happens after death?
After death, I think there's a continuation, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think heaven and hell has always been a little bit funky and weird to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's an idea I had when I was younger. Right? I always thought, right, okay, boom, so here I am on earth, doing my thing, being this unique version of me that I am, right? And I realized that, okay, boom, I'm both good and I'm both bad. You get me? I really want it to be Christ-like. You feel me? I've followed the Jesus' greatest commandments. Love your neighbor as you love thyself. That was a core principle.
So I'm gonna look something up quickly, just around heaven.
Yeah. But yeah, I always thought that, okay, boom. So me here being me, trying to be good, but still doing bad stuff and whatnot. This is me. This is who I am here. And the idea of heaven to me is like, oh, but in heaven you just be good. And I thought, but hold on, if I'm just good, then I won't be the same me that is living right now. You feel me? So there won't be really a continuation because I'm a mixture of good and bad. But if I'm just good, then that doesn't make sense where there's a place where that will change who I am. You understand? So the idea of heaven always felt a bit flawed.
Because this is what I was kind of trying to look up. I didn't really get a chance to fully like explore it now. I'll do it in my own time, I guess. But from what my experience around heaven was that the way people describe it, it's been described is that it's it's almost like this like place where everyone's just good and everyone's just doing like the right things and values and whatever. So to me, that
I know them
but that doesn't even sound like heaven. That sounds a
dead.
bit like hell.
Sounds dead. That's why they say people
dead.
And hell sounds like the ultimate turn up party, bro. You get me? They even got the whoos. They got the hose down there as well.
Send me to the hell. You get me?
Trust me.
There still.
Trust me, man. That's what I was saying.
There still. Do you know what? There was a story though about that. I'm probably not gonna like do it justice, but basically the story that this guy ends up in heaven and he can have anything he wants. He can have all the money, basically everything he wants that he could get on earth and plus more. And the only one thing he's not allowed to do, he can't work. Yeah. So as he's in heaven, like he's basically the first, like I'm gonna use like time metrics, whatever. The first year is like cool, he's chilling, like best life. Second year still best life. But comes the third year, he's like, I wanna do something. Yeah. Because like this is like I've got everything, it's abundance. I've got everything I wanted, but I wanna do something with myself. Like I wanna be passionate about something, just work for something. And but basically God says you're not allowed to. And then when he asked why, in short, he said, you're not in heaven, you're in hell.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what hell is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they say that the pathway to hell feels like heaven. The pathway to heaven feels like hell.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So and that's the thing, like, and it just made me think about this whole like thing of abundance. That's the most beautiful thing and maybe like the best design of a human being is that we get to do something with our lives, right? Like, I think if I had everything tomorrow, genuinely, I don't know. Obviously, I think first few years will be fun. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's like, and everyone's got this idea. Everyone's striving towards that thing. But I promise you, after a certain time of having anything you ever wanted, anything your heart desired, you have to go, but I want to do something.
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, that's why they used to piss me off this phrase. It's about the journey rather than the destination. I said, shut up your mouth. Let me enter this destination where there's money, where there's all of these successes, there we can talk. You get me? But it actually is. Everything is actually about the journey, right? So boom, £1 million now. You want to make £1 million. Boom, I give you £1 million today. No, so you work, figure out, do this, boom. What you've gained along the way is far more valuable than the £1 million. What you've gained is the ability to be a person who resonates with £1 million now. You feel me? But shit.
But no, but I was gonna say, while remember your point, I was gonna say that you're 100% right. It is about a journey, and I think what the cool thing is, and maybe no one talks about, is the outcome as well. Like whether it's the £1 million or something else, or maybe like I don't know, whatever people are going for. The outcome is actually, again, the thing that outlines this about the journey, because the outcome makes the journey feel better. Yeah. But so it's always about the journey.
But yeah, exactly. The outcome is very short-lived if you compare it to the journey. you get to what you want to get to, you get it feels good, feels amazing, and then all of a sudden it's normal.
But that's the thing, people are confused. So I think people misunderstand what they appreciate. So when someone does get £1 million, they think they appreciate £1 million, but no, it's the £1 million that's helping them appreciate the journey. But they get confused, they think it's the £1 million.
Yeah, no,
when it's always been the journey.
Yeah, it's the journey that helped them get to the £1 million, that helps them become the person who's now able to do that and move forward to it. But yeah, it really is about the journey rather than the destination, because everything, like I've realized, one fear I used to have when I was young, I was like, but you know what? Yeah, so I can do this, get super rich, do this, and then what? Once I complete all my goals, and then what? And that kind of tripped me up a little bit. But the fact is, there will always be more.
Yeah.
The universe is infinite. There will always be more. It's impossible for you to be in a place where you can't get more. As more can be just different sometimes. You understand? Move in a different direction, become a different person, change in whatever way that you want. You feel me? So there is always that option to have that.
Yeah.
You get me?
No. Yeah, let's get into creativity, man.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a big one. I guess I'm going to start with like how do you define creativity, or what creativity is to you?
So, with a little bit of context, since I was a kid, my mind never shuts off. You understand? There's always this propensity to want to express creatively maybe what my soul is resonating with, or whatever art that is within me, or to create something, to put something together. I think for me, creativity is that it is bringing an idea, something from within, and expressing it into physical reality. You get me? Something that is just an idea. Like I said, when anything you think of exists, and for me, it's the transmutation of this idea into reality now. You feel me? So I've always been someone who's just always had creative impulses. I started with acting, then got into filmmaking, music, comedy, stand-up, filmmaking, producing, all of these kind of things. And there have been people always telling me, Ray, like, focus on one thing. And the truth is, like, I honestly tried. I tried to focus on one thing, but I'm just not set that way, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just not. And here's the thing, though, because obviously, like, growing up, people want you to, I guess, to do well, which more times than not, because of the brainwashing, makes you think you have to, you know, get a job and become a regular, normal person within society and whatnot. But that is a cage, bruv. That is a prison. We actually deep it, you know. And they work you with it. They work you with it until you face this side now. You feel me? Because really, this idea of growing up, handling yourself, is just literally becoming a slave to the system.
The only thing I would say on that, it depends. There are some really good jobs out there.
Absolutely.
It depends on the job. But
Absolutely.
but majority of the jobs are a bit like, I feel you. I'm with you on that.
And for creatives, the majority of the jobs are basically death, bro. Like, it's crazy to say it, but some jobs felt to me like literally death. Like, I was using, because look, here's the difference in it. Yeah, like, what business requires for it to stay operational and functional is a repetitive doing of the same things over and over. Business functionality, comment again and again and again and again to keep it functional. And as a creator, that is the worst thing, because you don't want to do something again. I've done it already. And then here's the thing. The task that you're doing doesn't require any creativity. It just requires you to do something that's dull and over and over and over again. And as a creative, that personally killed my soul. You get me? Not being able to create or be expressive and just do something that was menial. And I was given 8 hours of my day 5 times a week to it, to the point where it's draining me so much I can't even pay attention to my own creative endeavors now. You feel me? So it's the corporate world is tough for creatives. You get me? So kind of had to sort of manage my way around it, because regardless of what you do as a creative, you also have to make money.
Yeah.
Because you need to survive. You need to pay your bills. You need to eat, man. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's it's a tough one, man.
It's an interesting one, right? Like, I guess just with that, like you mentioned it, like, you know, as a creative, like you also have to pay bills and everything else. Like, how do you? Because obviously, I know you, and even from the conversations we've had, you know, like last time, this time here, like I know you're a very spiritual being at the same time. How do you navigate that balance between, like, we've got this physical world where you have to like make money and kind of survive within the physical, I guess, like means and everything else, and then being spiritual as well. Because you know, sometimes some people, what I've noticed in life is that some people might be too much into one side. Like, you know, you get someone that's like fully like spiritual, so they have no money, and then you have someone that's like fully like into this physical thing, so just got all the money in the world, but no kind of like connection to the spiritual or understanding that this is bigger than just whatever the job they're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think like I've been told a million times, it's all about balance. Feel me? Like fast food isn't that bad for you. Balance it out with a healthy diet as well. Do you get me? But it's all about a balance and finding a way to make money and still find time to spend on yourself and create the things that you want to create. And that might just be really sacrificing certain things so that you know that you can plot this time towards your creativity and allow yourself to express that, because it's just a necessary. You feel me? And the objective was always to work it in a way where I think monetizing your creativity is one path, but it is very hard, especially for creatives. So we tend to, you know, get a job or get something that works within our frame. But there's so many jobs out there now that it just takes some looking, and it takes some intention, like going out and thinking, okay, boom. So I am a musician. I want to make more music. So what's a job that's going to keep me around music? Maybe one of I do studio engineering, right? And I'm getting paid from doing this, and I'm practicing at the same time. You understand? Do something that is within the remit of what it is that you're passionate about, right? So me, I'm passionate about creativity, creation. So became a social media manager, became a content creator, became a filmmaker, became all of these roles that actually lend to my creativity. So the only way really is about balance, and being ready to, I guess, to make time, space, and opportunity for you to do what you're passionate about while balancing a job that you don't hate, that you can continue to do, that's gonna make you.
Do you know what I thought of here? While I was listening to you, I didn't even think of it like that before, but I've noticed a pattern in the creative kind of like field, you know, within musicians and, to be honest, within anything that's creative, right? And the pattern is that it's become like fast food, right? Like someone, like, I don't know, someone might make a reel, boom, someone watches it, next one, and there's. I think the downside of, you know, you spoke about like some people are caged in jobs, and you know, like more people, I guess, starting to kind of wake up and say, you know what, I'm not going to work a 9 to 5. I'm going to become a creative. So you've got, you know, more like TikTokers or whatever, like more musicians, because people can just make a home studio now and stuff like that. More podcasts. So you've got all kinds of people coming up now. And I guess I never thought of it like that before, but the downside is that the more creativity there is, I guess the less appreciated it might be, just because there's too much abundance.
Yeah.
There's just too much out there, and it's like fast food. It's like, you know, like nowadays music it don't mean shit no more.
Right.
You know, one album comes out, like next week you listen to the whole new album, like, or it's just so fast.
Yeah.
It's just so fast.
So I think the only way to cut through is to be so like originally you, and that's the advantage that we all have. We have the advantage to be 100% unique and original, no matter unique.
Unique. Yo, that's a new one. I didn't even think of that one.
Yeah, that's great.
Unique. Oh my days, unique, Aladdin.
I took it honestly.
Come on.
But nah, yeah, literally be as uniquely yourself.
I can't inherit now. That's the problem.
Just
So,
be as uniquely yourself, because then you cut through. Because then I think what everyone's trying to do now, and the reason I'm doing what I'm doing on social media and on creativity, is to increase the spectrum of creativity, because everyone's trying to fit in and play up for the algorithm. So everyone's creating the same kind of content, everyone's doing the same kind of shit, like 1,000,001 people doing the exact same thing. So the only way to cut through now is to be so originally yourself that you reap your USP.
yeah.
You get me? There's only you, and do whatever's crazy or interesting or genius to you.
Yeah.
And people who will attract to that.
No, it makes sense. Just for the audience, because we do have looking at the stats and stuff, we do have some Americans that listen to this as well,
Yeah,
and some other people in other parts of the world. But so we had a moment earlier when I was like unique. So obviously the word unique is someone that's special and whatever. But in UK slang, we have there's a word neek, NEEK.
Yeah.
So it's like basically someone is a nerd. It's like you nerd. So that's what the joke was, in case they didn't understand. Because someone's listening to it, they think like, what's these guys like? What unique? Like what I'm saying. So I had to explain that one.
True.
So it doesn't fly over the head.
If you don't get it, then you're just a neek.
Yeah, if you don't get it, you're a neek. Not unique, you're a neek.
Just a neek.
Cool. So let me just see. So yeah, this is the question I wanted to ask you, because I actually asked you this question last time and it was a really good one. So one of the things that you kind of spoke about before coming on the podcast that you couldn't put out last time is about like human superpowers, and you talk about human superpowers.
Yeah.
So what do you believe is like the most underrated human ability that we have?
The most underrated human ability is the fact that within all of us we possess this spark for infinite potential. Right? A human being is literally the only thing on the planet right now that can be whatever it believes itself. Right? Funny enough, a cat will only ever be a cat. A dog will only ever be a dog. Human beings, astronauts, physicists, bodybuilders, all these things, to the point where I've seen some human beings behaving like dogs, wearing the dog outfits, sleeping in cages, and just living like dogs. There's actually people who live like that. Was it? Furries. They've got
furries. 2 furries.
Mad. So human beings can be whatever they want so much. They can even be flipping dogs. You understand?
But do you know what's interesting? I was thinking when you said that, yeah. I don't think we can be whatever we want. I think we just have a disguise, right? I think it's just pretend to be something else. But I think that foundationally we're just human beings, right? That's the foundation.
When you say
and
that,
then
they're gone.
And then like someone, I don't know, like someone's a doctor. They're not. The bottom line is that they're a human being. Their disguise is that they're a doctor. That's the character or the identity they chose to kind of fulfill in their life, right? It's like it's almost like acting. Like, in acting you've got roles and people play different roles. In job you've got roles, job roles. Everyone plays a different role. That's why one person can be an entirely different person outside of work than they are at work, because they've just played a role. So they're pretending to be something else. But then also I think from the beginning we can kind of like pretend whatever we want to be anyways, right? Like I can fully have a 360 or 180 life change tomorrow. I could literally, like, this is the craziest part. I could literally move to another country and decide to become something else, someone else. And that's like, it's kind of like, it's almost like a canvas, or, you can change your belief. I don't know. It's just, it's an interesting
You don't even
thing.
have to go to another country.
I know. I'm just saying, yeah.
I know what you mean, but this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying is so unique about human beings. We have this infinite spark within us, innit? Yeah, like, if you right now was to believe that you was a rich pop star guitarist, yeah? And for the next year, you believed yourself to be that. Bro, all my life, be that. You become it, because what your mind creates comes into reality.
Yeah.
You pull it, what you believe to be true becomes true, and which is that core mechanism of our humanity that I want to highlight to answer your question, is that we have the power to make ourselves believe anything, and in believing it, with us then bring it forward into our reality. So we really do have the power to create absolutely anything. And the maddest thing is, we do it already. We do it every day, bro. You right now, who you are, is as a result of the construct that you have in your mind about who you are.
So do you know what's interesting? I'm on a journey of recognizing that I'm also nothing. So the question of who are we, or who we are, like as human, basically it's a question we've been trying to answer since the existence of human beings. And I don't know when that happened or when that started. I wasn't there. But no one really knows who they are, right? Like everyone always identifies themselves with the name and the age and what they do for a living, and none of those things is really who we are. They're just identity and you know, even if I say like my name is Leo, right? It's not even who I am. It's just something that belongs to me because it's literally in the words my name is. It's been given to me.
You know who you are. You know exactly who you are. Beyond Leo, beyond all of this shit, bro. Know who the fuck you are. When you reflect on yourself, know who the fuck you are. You see?
So I yes.
No, like honestly, like who you are. Like,
yes, from that point, because obviously I know what you're talking about from that point, yes. But you know, like, who am I as, like, you know, this, in the way we navigate world as in identity, you know, like, as
but
in,
you know, in the world, it's just a projection. Obviously, we're trying to, even with language and all of that, we're trying to unify in a way that we can all communicate on one steady line. But really and truly, the reality of life isn't just this steady line. It's a lot of crazy nuances, you understand? And at the bottom of it all, bro, like, you know who the fuck you are beyond all the bullshit.
Yeah, beyond all the,
beyond absolutely. And like, as I was saying earlier, it may not be something that you can vocalize to make it understandable for me, but you have that knowing absolutely without a shadow of a doubt of who the fuck you really are. And you even know sometimes when you're playing the game, when you're being Leo. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, though? Yeah, real shit.
Yeah.
But
some people might not understand what you say, but trust me, man.
But we know who we are. We know who we are. Like, beyond all the bullshit. Like, you get me? I think there's laws and ways of connections that we're still considering as part of us being in the field. But like, on a, you know what's going on, bro. But this is what I'm saying. It's enjoyable at the end of the day. You get me? So we're here. It's like going to the cinema, right? You know you're watching cinema. The murderer is not gonna come out and murder you, but you put yourself in like a disbelief because this is the thrill of cinema. The same with life.
Yeah, that's how life is. Yeah, you're right.
Same
You're
with
100%
life.
right.
We're here bantering with each other, bro. And even on the good and the bad, bro, it's so for me, that is life. We're here, we're all playing. Literally, life is a play. We're all playing with each other. Even your ops, you're playing ops with them. Your best friend, you're playing best friends with them. You feel me? Everyone who comes into your life has a meaning, whether it be positive or negative. They have a place within there that excites you or brings some sort of value to you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in your existence.
That's another good one. Value. You know what? Just because of the time, I'm a bit. How we doing on time? Okay, actually, so we still got okay, cool. We still got some time. I thought we had less than that. Yeah. So I think there's two more topics that I'd want to cover. Don't know in how much depth, but so I said happiness is one. So let's get into happiness, man. Like what's I just heard it breathing. It's just said.
So what is the question?
There is no question.
So what? To what are we speaking about?
I think you're about to create a question, probably.
No, I'm curious what the question is. Yeah, when you say happiness.
No, do you know what? I can ask you like 50 different questions on it. I think, well, I'm going to give you, instead of a question, I'm going to give you context.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's a different way of talking about it. So recently, I think I've been kind of like trying to understand what happiness is or what it means. It's a bit like this, it's a bit like a foggy area. Like people talk about it.
How so?
I don't know. Like a lot of people can't really describe happiness. So like they think, okay, you know what? Let me put it like this, yeah. It feels like it's not unified.
How do you mean?
As in, like everyone thinks happiness is something different. So it's like, yeah, if you had a conversation with, I don't know, 100.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that.
But you know what happiness is.
I don't.
Of course you do.
I don't.
How can you say you don't know what happiness
I
is?
don't.
You've never been happy before?
I don't know if I have.
You know if you've been happy before.
I don't. I genuinely couldn't tell. Because what if I confuse it for like something different?
Why would you confuse it? What would make you think you've confused
So
it?
that's
for
the thing.
something different?
So what would you? So what's happiness for you? Like, how would you know? How would you know you're happy?
Like, that's a knowing. Like, how can you not know when you're happy?
I don't
How
know.
can you, so let's expound on,
Let's
your,
explore it.
let's dive into this. Yeah, like how do you not know happiness? You know the feeling of happiness, like what, like
But
you've
then
been
what's-
happy. Would
but
you
then-
say you've been happy before?
What if there's a? So what about joy? Can I guess what I'm trying to say?
Is this semantics,
Can something else be disguised as happiness, and we just mistake it? We just think that's
like
what happiness is.
Give me an example.
I don't know. Maybe just
Well, like sadness for happiness.
no. Just maybe it had like something went well, and then I'm just like there's a moment of joy, but it's not really happiness. Like what's happiness? Is that, would happiness be permanent? Is it temporary? Like what's the?
Nothing is permanent.
So what's
Everything is
your definition of happiness then?
what brings you, joy? What feels good? What deeply feels good to you? Something beyond words, like happiness is yeah, exactly that. I'm just trying to
No,
I'm
but
trying
this
to
is
think, because when like if I say I'm feeling happy,
yeah,
I know 1,000,000% what that means. Like I've felt happiness before.
yeah.
So
Definition of happiness.
yeah, let's check that. Yo, get out of here.
So the thing is, yeah. So happiness is defined as the state of being happy. It's if it doesn't actually help.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So
No,
what-
it does
what-
help. It's a state of being. It's
So
a state
yeah,
of being.
what is happy?
So look, on the vibrational frequency on the spectrum, right? Happiness will be, I guess, at the top. So have you ever felt a feeling of just overwhelmingly good feeling?
I might have, but how do I know that that's true happiness? That's, I guess
how
that's
can it not be true happiness? It only becomes what you define it as.
ooh. So the definition for for happy is feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. I didn't think of contentment as being happy, because I'm actually, I have moments of content, like pure content.
Of course you do, yeah.
Those are like, so in that definition,
Then that's happiness.
Yeah.
You know what happiness is.
do you know what? There's this one fucking quote that I saw that hit me like a brick, and I was very happy in that moment. And now that this is, everything is adding up now, it's making sense, yeah. And after reading that quote, I remembered what can make me happy, and I was full content in that moment for the next few minutes, until I remembered I had to go do some bullshit, yeah. And then I wasn't happy no more after the 2 minutes, yeah. But the quote was,
right? Yeah, go on.
nothing will make you happy until nothing makes you happy.
Nothing will make you happy. Nothing happy. I mean, I hear the line of thinking, but I quite enjoy happiness. I have things that make me happy. I have things that I will do. I have thoughts. I have things that make me happy. Like things that don't require much effort. I can sit here right now and think of my sister. Makes me happy. I can think of my friends, think of my mom, think of my family, think of just good times when I was happy. And that makes me happy. You get me? It's like a free resource.
I like that's a question. I'll repeat this for the mic.
Yeah, good.
Great. Sounds
Yeah,
pretty.
donuts.
What if every
Exactly. Yeah. 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 It's not paradoxical.
But very, very
It's
good
working in
question.
unison.
The question was, what if every emotion is a lack of opposite emotion? Again, everything's adding up. Something that's I've been thinking about recently. I remember the times when I was years ago when I wasn't happy with life, or I was quite sad with certain things or whatever, and I was stuck in that place when I was trying to refuse that emotion of sadness or unhappiness. You know, like trying to be like, no, I don't want to feel like this, and it needs to leave. And the longer I was resisting the emotion, the longer it stayed for. Which made me think, just within that question in itself, of the yin and yang, right? So if I can't accept the sadness, how am I meant to get to the happiness? You know what I'm saying? If I can't accept one of the side of the yin or the yang, how am I meant to get to the other?
Exactly. And hearing becomes the secret to life and balance again, right? It's understanding that I can make you 2 promises that I know in Jesus' name, without a shadow of a doubt, will come true. That you have better days than also have worse. Guaranteed, without fail. And it's understanding this, right? Now, the good days. So, okay, so here, I'm going to tell you this one quote that I love. So it goes, and this is how the yin and yang, the light and the dark, balance each other out, yeah? Because they all have utility. Quote goes, you are never more sure of what you want than when you're smack bang in the middle, don't want, right? Ultimate clarity. So then in that, the quote unquote negative has had the positive or the utility of making clear to you what it is that you do want. And that's what continues to happen. And that's how we continue to change, right? You go up the spectrum. Things go great, fantastic. Oh, you love this. Fucking great, yeah? Boom, bam, something happened. It takes it all the way down to the bottom. Now you hate this. Feels terrible. Now, down here, you can now reminisce on how good it was back up there and how great it was and be grateful for the things that you had back then. You understand? And then boom, you shoot back up and then, oh my days, it feels so good. After not having all of this, now I have all of this that I'm grateful for. So now you've even shot further because of this now. You understand? And then you get to a point where you plateau out, right? You're just happy, everything's great. Now, Christians could say that's heaven and whatnot. You want to stay there for the rest of eternity, but you don't want to stay there for the rest of eternity, right? Because then there's no change, there's no more happening, right? Life is pointless because it's not changing, because this is what life is, right? So then what you need for a crash again, right? And then in this you find something new and you appreciate something new, and this is the play of life. Like I mentioned at the first, like a sound wave, the play of life going up and down through the spectrum, up and down. And that's what I think life is for us to explore this spectrum of positive and negative and good and opposites and in and out, and process it as this experience. You understand? So my key understanding is that obviously the most of who you are is your higher self, right? And that's the bigger version of you. You're most concentrated there than you are within the physical, and within the spiritual, it then feeds your physical. So then, shit, I lost my train of thought again, man.
No, we're good.
I've been losing my train of thought. What do you mean?
I can't go.
Why? Why?
No, for
Mm.
it's like I feel idea of
Mm.
hell.
Yeah, but then that's if you're experiencing someone's gifted or created idea of heaven. If you're experiencing your own heaven, your own heaven's gonna be perfect. You feel me? And you're gonna be at the center of that heaven, really and truly. But if you're taking someone else's or them man's God or these man's God, then obviously the outcome's gonna be
Lives and
all
living in
sorts.
something
Well,
like
technically, we already experienced this is heaven and hell. Like we don't need to like go to heaven to know what it's like or to hell to know this is heaven and hell.
Well, I think the truth is we live in heaven, yeah. Because boom, your dream state, yeah. Go back, that's another realm, right? Where things function kind of like heaven, bruv. Things just happen with as you see it fit. You understand? And I believe that where we are there, now everything is a spectrum, and I think like once you come out of physical reality, then you've got the oversoul, then you've got other souls, and you've got a whole plethora of not other life and existence and beings. Yeah, the spectrum is as wide as if you go down into your skin, into your body, billions upon billions of operations and things living going on. You feel me? So just as it's that way in, also that way out as well. You feel me? And it expands, and it gets bigger and it bigger, bro. It's a whole thing, bro.
Mm.
You get me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Serious.
man. Nah, this is it's lit.
Sorry. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you want to see man in heaven?
I think it's created though, man. I think all of that stuff is created though.
Mm.
Would you believe life is like after death?
Um, the 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 closest understanding I've come to is what life was before I was born.
And what was that? That's fairly accurate though.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nothing. I was born. I can't recall nothing.
Or it
So-
was everything.
But it was everything.
And you can't recall everything because your human vessel is limited. Feel me?
So
There's a guy called in the anime I watch here, Jujutsu Kaisen, called Gojo. He's supposed to be the baddest bad man, yeah. And he's got this move called it like they do the special move in it. Yeah. I forgot what it's called, infinite something, right? And what he does is he floods you with knowledge of everything that is in existence, right? And as a result, you just freeze because you can't process all of that. There's too much of it. You get me? So if we was to take all the information from your higher self and plug it into your physical that needs ABC 1, 2, 3 breakdown, overload.
yeah.
Overload. It's like I was saying earlier, when you look at me, the information exchange is for you to explain it will cost you fucking a dissertation or something, right? And it's that same sort of context, taking the dissertation and slapping it in your head and tell you to recite it right now. It's a lot of information. If it was to take, our physical bodies can't handle all of that, which is why we'll never know everything and we'll always be limited. But then when we sleep, die, we go back to having all that information and being connected to all that stuff.
Yeah. And I guess like the other outlook is we already know everything as well. We just forgot that we do, but
like
because I was gonna say, because you know, like a lot of things, like knowing is a concept. Like knowing is not like, I know it's probably controversial. Like loads of people maybe in comments go, "Oh, knowing is whatever," yeah. But I mean, like for me, knowing is a concept. Knowing is like, it's that concept of a journey. Like once you find out this thing, then you know. So if that concept doesn't exist, suddenly we know everything already.
But then it's impossible to know everything because deep it, like really and truly, don't know fuck all. Because boom, all our greatest scientists was like, so let's say flat earthers, for example. People believe that it's a flat earth. Back in the day, they used to be looked at like fools. You feel me? Now there's theories and ideas that will make you think, oh, raw, really? You get me? Before, science was separate from sort of spirituality because they thought it was separate, right? Science is what you can measure. But then now science is getting to the point where it can actually start measuring spirituality. And that's changing everything, right? So whatever we think we know, we actually don't know because there's so much to know.
If knowing was looked at, if people treated knowing as an illness, then Henry said you need to get rid of knowing.
Yeah.
Suddenly life is a little bit better because no one really needs to know nothing.
What do you mean?
So like, I'm not talking about knowing as like you knowing some information for the practical thing that you got to do. I mean like knowing, like, you know, there's questions that we keep asking, like, we need to know if you go to heaven or hell. We need to know this. We need to know this.
Yeah, but
if you get rid of that, suddenly life is a little bit like, it's a bit different. It becomes different.
Oh, but the not knowing is the play, is the game. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to find our way back from. You get me? The journey itself is finding yourself from hard body limitations because we are beings that are unlimited, right? It's finding yourself from limitation into not being limited again. It's that journey and everything in between. Because as a higher being, you're just that, right? And then as a lower being, you're just that. But then that opportunity to bridge, it's like a bridge. It's again, it's all that is experiencing itself in its infinite variety. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. Do you know what we need for this conversation?
Some weed.
No, at some point we need to do a part 2, but we need to get like a scientist, like a scientifical guy on this.
Yeah.
Because like they will just be like, they'll be so opposed to what we're talking about. They'll be like, which is cool. Like we like opposed views as well. But they'll be saying like we are, because you know, like they say that we only exist because of the light and all these. There's their explanation is very different to like what we've been talking about. Like
Yeah. All day, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. True. True. Yeah. Yeah. True.
yeah, next time just
Just grab a mic,
grab a
mate.
mic, bro.
Yeah.
Just grab a mic. And do you know what? Yeah, we'll talk about it after the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's start closing, man.
Okay.
Closing arguments.
I should be close.
Like, closing arguments. No, people. Don't worry, I got you. No, what you want to close like the
No.
Do you know what? We didn't get through happiness fully, but you know what?
Oh yeah.
One thing I'm definitely getting from this comment, we need to do a part 2, bro. There's so much to talk about. There's so many things. I think we'll do that maybe part 2, even part 3 at some point. If you're up for that, that'd be sick, man. Because I think there's a lot of stuff we can get through that could be valuable for people that are listening. Especially for those that are into philosophy and stuff like that and spirituality. So, cool. Yeah, man, I was gonna go straight into it. Is anything you want to promote? So I guess like 2-part promotion. One is something that doesn't belong to you, per se. You know, like something, I don't know, might be a book, might be a video you watched recently, might be something that inspired you. You might want to shout someone out doing something. And the second one is something that does belong to you, something you did in the moment that you want people to connect to.
Okay, so I shall offer this up to anyone who it will. But a lot of what I'm saying stems from a teaching. I'm not even going to describe it accurately because it might be jarring for some people. But have a look at someone called Bashar, Bashar, Daryl Anchor. Yeah? Bashar, Daryl Anchor. Just listen. A lot of the ideas that I'm purporting here about the one and all that is, your higher self, physical reality, the mechanism of physical reality, all of these are based off an understanding of the ideas and concepts provided by Bashar. But it is deep, yeah. Like the reason I really f with it is because it really, he really goes into detail about the mechanism of physical reality, our humanity, beliefs, the power of beliefs, and how we create our our existence, our beings, our physical reality, and so forth. So yeah, check that out if you're into all of that kind of stuff. But it gets deep. Yeah, even Bashar, what he or it is crazy. Check it out.
That's dope, man. And something sorry, something that belongs to you as well.
Something that belongs to me. I mean, right now I'm just creating content.
Not just.
Okay, I'm not just. I am creating content for my creatives. I've been doing social media for so long, creating content and whatnot now. I've wanted to turn it into something that gives people, and I feel like that's my purpose. My purpose in life is to give. I feel fulfilled. I feel purposeful. I feel meaningful when I'm able to give insight or knowledge. So that's what I've started doing on my Instagram. Raymond.Shahu, that's SHAAHU. Check me on there. I've got some stuff I'm working on at the moment, but yeah, just go there, right?
Can I make a comment on that actually as well? So, like, you do get numbers, but I think you're watching your stuff recently. I've realized that, you know what you're doing at the moment is a great example of that. It's not always true that if you make great content, you always have the numbers, like the crazy numbers, because your content's sick. Is better than some of the other content that I've seen that gets loads of, like, goes viral and stuff like that. I think your content's better than that. And you might not be getting the flowers or the numbers that you should be getting for the type of content you make at the moment. But that's a good example of, like, yo, it's not always just, people say, oh, if you make like sick content and whatever, the numbers will just come.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not necessarily true. Sometimes the algorithms and everything else and whatever, but it's got parts to play and stuff. So
yeah. No, thank you, bro. But there's a lot of things that have to play in that. I know that I don't worry. I know that my flowers will come.
Oh yeah, that's a
Everything's
fact.
all
Yeah.
about timing. You get me? But at the same time, Instagram, there's people you can play it for, algorithm and all of these things and whatnot. I've always just been, for me, it's always been about the passion, it's always been about the creativity. And what I've noticed across the years, the impact I have on people, regardless of the views or whatever my page is. I went to Culture Clash the other day. I see two people, oh, yo, I've been following you for a long time. I'm like, cool. Ain't nothing. Do you get me? So I think people have seen my journey. People know what I'm on. You feel me? So regardless of what it is, me putting out my art has gotten me that. You feel me? People who recognize the level and the kind of stuff that I'm on. And that actually benefits my everyday life. You feel me? Rather than just it being digital and this, that, and the third. So I'm forever grateful. And I know when my time comes, it's gonna be sensational.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you had a chance to give one message to the whole world tomorrow, like, what would you tell them?
Message to the whole world. Okay.
Like,
Trust yourself. Hear me out. You are right. You are righter than your mum, your dad, your friends, your brothers, your sister. You are righter than all of them when it pertains to you. Feel me? Don't listen to them and about who you need to be or what you need to be, this, that, and the third. Only you have that within you. You feel me? And life is only going to start making sense when you are comfortable with that, when you're aligned with that, because it has to be. Your parents, your brothers, society, people might recommend a way of living for you, but you have to live it. You actually have to live it. So your parents will tell you do this and do that. If you actually have to do it, if that's what you're following, you understand? What you want to do is do what you want to do. That's what you came here to do. And the sooner you can align yourself with doing that, the better and happier your life's
No,
going. She.
as I say, don't be that 40-year-old where it's just like they wake up one day and say, oh my God, my whole life was a lie and I wanted to do something entirely different. So
Yeah. And even if you do become that guy, congratulations, because then you can still go forward from there.
yeah, 100%. Actually, maybe be that 40-year-old then. Yeah.
I don't know. This might be going back into conversation, but how do you feel about age nowadays?
I like that we close the convo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's okay. That's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bonus. Ta-da.
bonus. How do you feel about age? Because you're in your 30s now, yeah. How does that feel, bro? Because I know there was a mad stigma around it as we grew up.
I think my story that I've created around me hitting 30s has always been a good one, which is like I always felt like my life's gonna start at 30, and I kind of do feel like my life's just starting. And what I mean by that is, like I've taken, like let's say from when I was born to up to 30, I've taken on so much. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot of stuff, and I've gained so much wisdom. And my thing was like, once I hit 30s, then I'm gonna bring all of that and just basically start like almost like a new life, like a new chapter, and just go. So yeah, it's I don't know, like physically I feel great, mentally everything's blessed. Everything's blessed. Like I'd say, like compared to my past years, I think probably this is the best time in my life, personally. But yeah.
I think it was bullshit. Growing up, there was all this pressure to be a something before you're 30 or before you're old and I feel like it was an injustice, you get me? Because a lot of us was trying to speed to get somewhere beforehand, but really and truly, like, we're going at the perfect pace.
Yeah.
You understand? The person I was in my early 20s to who I am now, bro, I'm 10x that guy. You understand? And where I've landed right now is the perfect place for me to go on and live out the rest of my life. Because from young, you grow up mainly influenced by outside sources. You feel me? And I think from like 20 to 30 is you sort of washing that and rinsing out all the stuff from your fabric that's been caught up in the wash. You feel me? And all these other colors and whatnot. It's time to start wringing them out and actually start becoming the man, the person that you want to be. So in my 30s, I feel great, and I feel like my journey makes sense. I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, like, raw, I'm 20 something, I still ain't done this. By 30, I should be looking to retire.
But you didn't. Do you know? And that's the interesting thing about it, is the pressure wasn't necessarily yours. That's a societal pressure. So the voice is not even yours. Like, even when you're questioning yourself, it's not really you questioning yourself. It's someone else's voice. It's like social media or something else. I think the one thing that was kind of real for me was I always had this concept of like settling down by the time I'm 30. You know, like just, like maybe being married or having kids or whatever. And I realized that it's not even my idea. Like, it's not even, that didn't even come from me. You know what I'm saying? That came from the society. Like, of course, like, God willing, if I do get into that, into like a healthy relationship and everything else, and it works out. But like, I've let that go, and I'd rather let that go and let it happen naturally than force it with someone and then just be unhappy, like, in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think a big part of that pain came from us trying to be like our parents or trying to fulfill their ideals, even though we lived in a world that was vastly changing so fast and so quickly. So then we couldn't. It was impossible for us to achieve the results that they achieved because we were now playing in a different field.
Look at the dating world, like,
Bro.
just going back to the relationship. Just look at what dating looks like.
Yeah.
So like, all these things have changed so much. It's like, it's just everything's different, man. Everything's different. So
then we are on a unique path, and the things that are happening for us are happening so naturally and natively. We are the ones who put, I should have done this by this. I should have. No, my guy. Like,
Mm.
you've lived in this change. Things are changing. You are en route to be what the thing that you're supposed to be. And then the next generation will be like, oh, maybe we need but they all need something different as
There's
well.
always going to be something. There's this thing of like, and I see this all the time. I know it sounds like we're going off track, but we're not. There's this thing of when I get there,
Yeah.
when I get the illness,
Yeah.
like, and when they get there, when I get there, I'll be happy. When I get there, I'll do this thing. When I have, and these things align, I'll do this thing. When that comes in place, I'll do this thing.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when they get there, there's another. When I get there,
Yeah,
there's a
it's
new.
always.
So it's not. Yeah, there's always something. There's always something, and the whole thing about society and just being said, like, when someone gets to that point of like, cool, this is what society's telling me, I've got to be married, have kids. They get there, then it's like, what's the next thing? So I'm a bit more like, you spoke about the journey. Like, I'm loving the journey, man.
Yeah.
I'm loving the journey. I'm loving the bad aspects of the journey too.
Exactly.
So I embrace those. You know, like there's times like once in a while I get like sad or whatever. I'm like, ooh, like this is heavy. Like I'm feeling it, but I'm like, but I'm embracing it.
Yeah.
And I'm also holding it precious because I might not feel that like that too often.
Yeah.
Where in the past, like maybe I felt like that too often, and I'll get a little bit of happiness or contentment. Like I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like so. I welcome it, man, and I think there's depending on how people understand it, and I think people use as a throwaway thing now, but they just say it, but don't really understand what it means. Is the thing of like everything gets better with time. Like time is just, you know, like you know that time's gonna make it better. So just if the time's gonna make it better, then why not find the resilience to persevere through time?
Yeah.
And just get there.
And that's maturity. You feel me? And that's what patience. You feel me? That a lot of these young kids, I guess, aren't really taught or shown. You feel me? Because a lot of the depression, that crazy wave of depression, has come from people trying to live beyond their time. You feel me? And trying to race to some finish line that they've been told by other people, when really their actual finish line is somewhere completely different, because they're a different being in a different generation, in a different space. You feel me? Like, we're all running to different places. You get me? But thinking we all have to be in this specific place at a certain time, yeah, it's not the case, man. Like, everything has divine timing. Everything is happening as it should do. And I think for everyone sort of in their 30s and in our age, fearing getting older and not being able to, not actualizing on their passions and whatnot, like, you still have time. You understand? As long as you invest the effort to try pursue things that you're passionate about, you still have time. Like, things can change literally at the drop of a hat. You get me?
Also on the flip side, so I think the one thing I would say I might see differently to what you just said is just we think we have time. We think we have time, but I think the best way of navigating the journey of life and everything else is just having the gratitude and the appreciation for the moments, because as long as the gratitude and appreciation is there, for me, I won't have any regrets. Because the biggest regret someone can have, like, just going through life without appreciating what they're doing and just having gratitude for it.
Yeah.
Because that's when people just like kind of like get towards the end and they go, the biggest fear is like, oh my God, I didn't live the life I wanted to live. And you know that a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of interviews with that. You interview older people and there's always like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, and I wish I whatever. But if they actually, while going through the journey, whether bad or good, they appreciate everything, they wouldn't have to feel like that.
I'm going to go on a little tangent. I want to touch on gratitude, how gratitude is the secret weapon. Because, boom, as a human being, right, you're an attractor. Say attractor, right? But whatever your mind fathoms, right, whatever you think things are, if you think that you've lost something, right, it becomes, right? So, Abraham Hicks told me this very quickly, right? So he says every subject you have is like a stick, right? When it comes to a stick, you can pick it up on one side or the other side, right? One side is gratitude. So you pick up a stick, or say this is the money stick, right? when you're thinking, pick up on gratitude, right? So happy I've got money in my account. So happy I can afford food right now. So happy I just paid my rent. So happy I can go and get myself a coat and get trained. I could do all of it, right? You've picked up on the positive side. When you pick up on the side of lack right now, oh, why don't I have this money? Oh my days, I've got so much, right? Oh, I just had this payment. Oh my days, I need to save more money. Right? Whatever side you pick up, you will get more of. You understand? So whatever it is that you're thinking and your attention is on, you're going to get more on, right? Now, gratitude is the secret weapon because as we go, being programmed by society, your parents and whatnot, like you fluctuate, right, with what your attention's on. Sometimes you just sat there and you're just thinking about a made-up negative scenario in your head. Do you know what I mean? So all of these things are in our minds, and obviously as they come in our minds, we start to attract them, right? But gratitude actually allows you to skip all the vibration that you want to go straight to the top. Because you can't be experiencing negative belief, negative feelings when you're being grateful. That's a vibration right at the top. So when you're able to balance yourself and get back into gratitude, you're able to, let's say, manipulate your creation machine to focus on bringing you more of the positive things that you're being grateful for. So you can be sat there thinking, I don't have money, then you shift to gratitude. Now you start attracting more of those things. Understand? So that's how gratitude is the secret weapon to actually manifesting more things to you, because it puts you in like the most optimal frame of mind for manifesting positive things into your life.
Love that, man. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little bonus after the closing and all of that stuff. Don't forget to turn off the YouTube. Don't like, don't share, don't comment, don't subscribe.
Why?
No, I'm just.
You better enter the subscription thing.
Reverse psychology.
Press the like button.
Yeah.
Comment all of them. Oh, I will find you and slap your eye. You won't see for 10 days.
Please
Bastards.
press like.
Right.
Very, very nice. That. Yeah, press like. Whatever. Like, do all of that stuff. You know what?
Do it.
If you don't do it, yeah,
You are gay.
we're gonna find, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna find where you live, yeah, and we're gonna come give you some flowers.
Yeah, he's gonna do that. I don't know about that. Yeah,
Nice.
Johnson and Johnson.
It's mind games, and not mind games. Yeah, but yeah, man. Alright, my bro.
Big up,
Come
man.
on, love, man. Yeah.